Sup? It's Hallie. Welcome back to Tropical Rain. Dear viewer, before we start today, I need to tell you a funny story. I already recorded the end of this mod, and when I got to the end of it, I did a little recording test to see if my mute key was behaving itself, because it always seems to be at the start of a recording, and I'm not sure at what point it starts misbehaving, but I did one just to see. And when I checked the video, not only did I learn that no, the mute key is not behaving, it seems to work randomly whether it cuts me off early or not. I am so used to deleting videos after doing recording tests like that I absent-mindedly deleted the entire hour's worth of recording. So not only is my mute key absolutely unreliable, I get to replay the end of this mod. So everything we're about to see is stuff I've already seen, but you know, I'm going to record it again for you, dear viewer, for you. So anyway,
I'm sorry, Hallie, but they don't let you have your phone here. I'm going to be off the grid for a while. I love.
That was the last text I was sent before they, my guess is, confiscated her phone. Pardon me. Who's they? Yuri was sent away to some far-off mental hospital for treatment. Given the severity of her situation, they didn't let her go to any old therapist. She's getting the best treatment this side of the continent, apparently. I sighed. It made sense for them to take her phone, thinking it over. Having access to the internet while you're supposed to be healing mentally is really just not a good idea. The internet is a cesspool of maliciousness. Well, it can be. It wouldn't help. So I would have been fine with this normally. My only problem with it is, well, now I can't even talk to her. My loneliness was reaching new heights. Ugh. I rapidly scratched my head and then sighed again. I needed something to do. Somebody to talk to. All I've done these few days is sit in a pile of my own crap. Come on, Hallie. What happened? You used to be the bachelor of the century, but your girlfriend leaves and now you can't do anything but sulk. You really are hopeless without her. I shoved my hands into my pockets. Taking a night stroll was a terrible idea. All I'm doing is thinking about how everything sucks. No. Nothing sucks. None of what is happening sucks. Sucks for you? Yeah. But Yuri is finally getting help. You wanted this from the start. Yeah, sure, the hospital is 12 hours away by car, but who cares? Get over yourself. You can last a few weeks, months without seeing your girlfriend, however long it takes. Because you know what? You said you would be there for her. And right now, being there for her means not being there. Just let her have her time. You can deal. After that mental punching of my own head, I arrived back at my house, only to notice that my mailbox had been messed with. Something I didn't notice on my way out. Who the hell? I opened it up. There was a letter inside. I don't get mail. Dad gets all of the bills and stuff routed to where he stays. I muttered and pulled it out. Who the hell sent me? Lakeview Health Institution. Oh, this is the hospital Yuri got sent to. This is the hospital Yuri is staying at for the betterment of her own health. Yeah, looking over the rest of the letter, the name it was addressed to was mine. And the handwriting of the name itself seemed rather elegant. AKA, the handwriting I could recognize anywhere. But before even walking inside, I tore open the letter.
Dear honey, salutations. Sorry I haven't been able to contact you until now. In the text I sent, I stated that I wasn't allowed to have my cell phone with me. This is true. According to the doctors, it's so my healing process isn't ruined by anything I may see online. I can understand them. What I don't understand is that the only way I can communicate is through letters. This may have been a fantasy of mine, to communicate with a loved one through mail and love letters, but when it's your only option, you begin to dislike it. But anyway, I'm glad to be able to talk to you again. And before you ask the inevitable questions in your letter back, the doctors are treating me nice. Yes, I'm safe. No, I'm not enjoying myself. Yes, it's hard. No, I don't feel as if I'm getting better just yet, but that's okay. Though, now that we're past the basic stuff, I miss you, hon. It's only been around a week and a half, but I miss when we would sleep together. I miss when you would kiss me on the forehead and call me babe. I miss being able to rest my chin on your head. I miss feeling loved. Everything is so sterile here. It's dreadful. And, well, to get into the meat and potatoes of this hospital stay, it hasn't been going so well. I feel like we've made no progress, and all of the doctors seem like they're trying to dodge the fact that my arms are covered in scars, and my wrist still has an actively healing wound. It's ridiculous. The doctors keep trying to talk to me about my emotions and how I feel in my daily life. It just makes me want to scream. I'm not here to talk about my emotions. I'm here for you to fix me. Obviously, it's not that easy. I know that. But I just want them to start trying something, anything. Maybe it takes more time. I'll go along with what they say. But for now, I love you. Oh God, I love you. Please stay safe, and please stay strong. Farewell. Sincerely and with love, Yuri.
I set down the letter. Geez, that was rough. That was rough. She seemed so miserable. It was understandable, given her situation. I would be too. But just because something is realistic doesn't mean it's good. I opened up my door and walked into the kitchen. I set the letter down on the counter and walked over to my collection of office supplies. They weren't in a kitchen drawer, but instead, all on and in a desk close by. It was convenient to keep it all near the bar, given I like to sit and do homework there. It was a nice workspace. Anyway, I need to write Yuri back. I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen. Sitting down at the aforementioned bar, I got to work. I set down the pen and began to read over what I had written. Dear Yuri, hey, it's Hallie. I'm glad to know you're doing okay, and that the doctors are treating you nice, heh. Though you don't seem too happy about this ordeal, and I don't blame you. Look, I miss you too. I miss you so much. I practically can't function without you here. It's gonna make me sound like a total sissy, but every day I wish you were here and in my arms. But you can't be, because you're in there. And speaking of in there, I can understand you wanting to make progress, but you need to give it time. The doctors ask about your emotions and what seem like ridiculous questions because they're trying to pinpoint how you think and how you feel. It seems arbitrary, but just trust them, okay? They're there to help you. You just have to trust them. I know you understand that, and you even say that you're going to still follow what they want, but I think you need to hear it from me too. It'll happen. It'll be better in time. Rome wasn't built in a day, babe. I love you too, and I wish you were here. Right back soon. Hallie. It was a little blunt, yeah, but sometimes you have to be. I could be supportive. Of course I could. But I also needed to push her along. I hope. This letter could be a huge mistake. No. I shook my head. Negative thoughts don't help anything. They don't. I folded up the piece of paper and grabbed the dusty envelope from the desk drawer. I stuffed it inside and sealed it all up. I wrote the addresses and even put a little heart next to Yuri's name. Hopefully she'll enjoy that. I then looked up and down for a stamp, only to not find Jack. I knew I had some around, though, so I didn't give up just yet. Though just when I was about to... I pulled out an even dustier piece of paper and smiled. 2 stamps. That's 2 letters I can write. I counted my blessings and put one on the envelope. I then walked outside, put it in my mailbox, flipped the flag up, and walked back inside. I fell onto the couch and sighed, feeling myself sink into the cushions. I reached into my pocket, only to remember that I forgot my phone in the kitchen. I groaned. I didn't want to get up, and I didn't want to turn on the television either. I began to look around my general area for something to do. Anything. I was desperate, but not desperate enough to get off the couch. My eyes caught something. Smiling slightly, I reached over and grabbed it. I turned it around a bit in my hands and really felt the weight. It's nice. I smelled it. I brought it away from my face and turned it over one last time. I then opened it up and read the first page. Ural of Markov. 2 days had passed since I got Yuri's letter. I was on my way home when I noticed that my mailbox had once again been tampered with. I wouldn't really call it tampering when they're just using it properly. I rushed over excitedly. That was quick, I said, pulling open the little door. Yup, another letter. And in just 2 days. Honestly, props to the Postal Service. I shook my head. I'm getting distracted. I shut my mailbox, turned the flag down, and walked inside. I tossed my bag to the side and walked into the kitchen. I sat down at the bar, and finally I opened up the new letter, a smile on my face, which slowly fell as I read the contents.
Dear honey, salutations again. I bring good news. The doctors have leaned into the idea of discussing my actual problems. The only issue is that I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet. I wanted to rush into it, yes, but I believe I may have jumped the gun. It is way more difficult than I thought it would be. Whenever I make an attempt to talk about it, the only thing I can think about is the feel of the blade across my skin and an overwhelming feeling of nausea. To put it simply, I'm scared, hun. I'm terrified. Every time I try to open up the doctors, I feel like I'm a little girl. I wish you were here with me. I know you would make it easier. You would hold my hand as I walked or talked through it, and would tell me you loved me and were proud of me when I got past a particularly tough spot. Things are just so hard. I really need something like that. If I'm being fully honest, it was probably the only reason I was able to tell you. Subconsciously, I knew you would love me anyway, and I would love you back even more. I'll keep working at it, so I can be proud of myself too. Farewell. Love, Yuri.
Aw, man. I know that the situation isn't very good right now, but these depressing letters are really getting to me. I shook my head and stood up to grab my letter supplies. Paper, dusty envelope, and my last stamp. Guess I'll have to run to the post office. Hey Yuri, it's Hallie. First thing I want to say is that I love you, and I'm so proud of you. I can see it in your last letter. Plain as day, you're miserable. But the fact that you're holding out is why I'm so proud. Yes, you complain, but who doesn't about some things? You complain, but you know how important this is. And for that, I commend you. But look, I'm sorry that this letter is so serious, and let's get down to business, but I have a tactic for you. Something that should help you with talking to the doctors. I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine you're talking to a person. A specific person, someone you love, and that loves you back. You see where I'm going with this? You've done it before. And yes, I know. Therapy is way bigger of a deal than just talking to a crowd about a poem you wrote, I know. But don't you think our relationship has grown a little bit since then? Back then, I was just your friend, and it worked that well. So I want you to imagine that you're telling your problems to me. I'm listening, babe. I'm holding your hand, okay? I can't be there, but I'm there with you. Alright? I love you, and please, tell me how it goes. Love, Hallie. Folded, deposited, sealed, and addressed. Outgoing only for a few moments later. But this all led me back to the same dilemma from a few days ago. I was bored. I finished Mural. I finished it within 6 hours of opening it. Any homework? No, I did it all yesterday, when I was just as bored as I was now. This boredom led me to lying down on the couch, phone in hand, mindlessly scrolling through my photo gallery as the television blared some crap I couldn't care less about. Something that, these days, I found myself doing often. Usually I didn't find anything interesting in my photos, but this time I found an old photo of me and Sayori. We both looked to be about 12 years old, and we were as happy as could be. And we definitely weren't bored. Ring.
Hello?
Hey, Sayori,
Oh, hey, Hallie.
she said, seemingly happy that I gave her a call.
What's up?
Well, to get straight to the point, I had been doing that quite a bit recently. I was wondering if you wanted to hang out.
Oh, so now that your cute girlfriend is all getting healthy, you want to go to your best friend. You're second fiddle. Well, I don't have it, Hallie.
I chuckled. You mean you won't have it? She blew a raspberry.
You know what I mean.
She then giggled.
Of course you can come over. Do you have anything in mind that we can do?
Well, do you still have that old Nintendo? She audibly gasped.
You mean the...
I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. I do.
I'm not sure. I would have to look for it. You want to help me too?
I'm on my way. I hung up the phone. And in only 10 seconds, I was knocking on Sayori's door.
Come in.
Sayori then dragged me into her house. Getting dragged around by women. A concerningly common theme. I woke up feeling like absolute garbage. Where the hell am I? And in a state of confusion. It was a familiar place. Oh, right. It was Sayori's living room, the inverse and alternate color palette of my room. I must have fallen asleep on her couch. I moved to get up, given how uncomfortable I was, before I heard a shift of movement. I looked to my right and saw Sayori asleep on the couch. She seemed happy. Whatever it is she's dreaming about must be pretty nice, I whispered to myself. She stirred once again, though, so I bit my tongue. She looked like a puppy. In a good way, of course. What would a bad way be? I shook my head. Who am I trying to justify myself to? I stood up and stretched, finally deciding to move on from staring at the body of a sleeping young girl. Ugh. Sleeping on a couch is not fun. But what was fun was the day me and Siri had yesterday. It was nice. It was really nice to be able to talk to her again. To feel or really feel a connection. See, I never really understood the phrase good old times growing up. Mostly because in my eyes, there were no old times that were good to think back on. But hanging out with Siri, I feel, is one of those times. Being able to feel like a kid again is something that very rarely feels authentic. But playing old Nintendo games with juice-stained controllers and greasy pizza hands just felt right. That is so disgusting. In all honesty, I really, really needed this. Just some kind of break. A break from the drama. A break from Monica. A break from Yuri. Well, her problems, to be more specific. They can be quite exhausting. I love her. Of course I do. I love her more than the sun and moon. And while Yuri is obviously a deeply troubled individual, and that's normally such a huge turnoff, but I chose her for a reason, you know? To me, she's so much more than that. She's so much more than just some broken girl. She's the love of my life, and I wouldn't change anything about her. Her problems, if anything, make her seem even stronger. By now, a lot of people would have just said, forget it, and well, off to themselves. But not Yuri. Hell no, not Yuri. Back in the hospital, as she explained the events of that day to me, she kept insisting that it was an accident, that she wasn't suicidal, and I trust her. I trust her fully. I know she isn't suicidal. I took a deep breath in and smiled. My strong girlfriend. Stronger than I'll ever even hope to be. After that rather lengthy internal monologue, I turned back to Sayori. Still asleep. She would appreciate a nice breakfast, yeah? So glad we didn't, get to see the day we spent with her. All it took was one day to get another letter. Every 2 days seems to be the pattern. I was on my way back from school, and afterwards the bookstore, when I saw it, my mailbox flag up. Why was I at the bookstore? I had decided to try and check out some books that Yuri talked about in the past. I didn't want to read The Girl Next Door, but some others seemed interesting. Like this one about a 12-year-old kid going on a quest to stop the thief of some bolt of lightning or something. I'm certain this is a reference to something, but I can't even bring to mind what it might be. It's a 12-year-old kid quests to stop the thief of some bolt of lightning. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't recall the name of it, but it sounds wicked. Yeah, me either. Setting my bag on the ground, I put my flag down and opened up my mailbox. There it is, one single letter. I need more friends that talk to me by mail. I grabbed the letter and tore it open.